Hello Virgo, thank you for tuning in to your love read. I apologize for my voice. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I hear I'm just softer sounding. I'm a little hoarse. Um, for the main part of the read, I'm going to use the Modern Spellcasters Tarot by Melanie Marquis, illustrated by Scott Murphy. For the supportive oracle cards, I'm using the Angel Answers Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. We're going to do relationship first, single second, and the oracle cards come out as needed. Okay. All right, what's going on here? Virgo, with you and your partner. Like what's happening with what's causing problems? I don't know if I want to say that way. Because I'm seeing like you're trying to communicate. I know, it was like this first, and it's kind of like back and forth. I don't feel like you're completely communicating how you're feeling. Not completely. I almost feel like you're being interrupted. And I feel like your partner's trying to step back from the conversation. So this seems to be a big piece of what's setting this off and causing a problem here. You're trying to tell them something, but I feel like you're being cut off. I feel like they keep walking away from the conversation. They're just trying to they don't want to hear what you're talking about for some reason, or they're just, I feel like that's actually the reason. It may be cleverly disguised with I have to go, I have to do this, but I feel like whatever you're talking about, they don't want to hear it right now, and they're trying to get away from it. I'm getting this with the Seven of Swords. It's weird how this card's coming in for me, because I feel like it's something they're walking away from, but they can't completely walk away from it. It's going to come back. They're going to have to deal with it at some point, but they're trying to walk away from the conversation with the thought that if I just cut this off before you're able to say what you want to say, it's not going to happen, seems to be the thought behind it. Now, here's where the problems are perpetuating. I feel like they're trying to keep you from having this conversation. I almost feel like if they can push it off long enough, it won't happen. And I feel like that's what's perpetuating the situation. I don't feel like that's going to work, but I feel like that's where they're coming from. Excuse me. Now, that's what they're doing. Now, your side, because each side has their challenge card. I mean, there's just a card there for each side. Yours is the Four of Wands. I feel like you're trusting that they're just... I feel like you're trusting that they're not avoiding you in a sense. And I feel like the thing is maybe you don't realize that they're avoiding this. Are you avoiding? I mean, are you realizing that they're avoiding this? Because I'm not 100% sure that's what we're saying with this card. What are we getting at here? Because I feel like you're very trusting. You're trusting that this is going to work out. You're trusting your partner. But your partner, I don't know, they're holding back. They're trying not to be a part of this. They're trying not to hear you. I don't feel like you're seeing it that way, though. You may be realizing that they're avoiding you, but not really what that means, in the sense of they are really just they're trying to squash the situation by not dealing with it. I don't feel like you're looking at it like that's a possibility, like that's possible. There's no way around it. It has to be dealt with. I feel like is how you're looking at it. They're thinking they can just wait it out, it'll go away. And they're perpetuating that. And you're just kind of like, you're patient. I feel like you're patient. You're like, when they're ready, they'll come around. That's okay. That's where the issue is. It took me long enough to get there. They're not. They're gonna keep walking away from the situation as long as they can get away with it. Now, something weird is happening here because you're waiting. They're avoiding. This seems to be becoming more and more of an issue. These seem to happen at the same time. I feel like you're getting to the part where you're very upset. I'm getting the Three of Swords where like, it's like you're I almost feel like it's kind of like they do it again where they're trying to shut off the conversation. You're bringing it up. You're just kind of talking about it casually, I feel. You're trying to ease into the situation and they're doing it again where they're trying to shut you down and walk away. And I feel like this causes a reaction. I feel like you get very upset. I'm seeing the Three of Swords like that's you getting upset. I'm not getting like I don't get an argument. I don't get like you're attacking. I'm getting you're upset and it's coming out. It's just coming out. I don't feel, it's not attacking like though. It's just kind of like saying what's going on, how you're feeling, what needs to be said. Like you're making me say this, you're making me do this. Like I feel like that's how it's coming through. Like you're forcing me to do this now because you keep running away from me and you can't shut me down. That's not right. You can't shut me down. You have to hear this. This is something that has to be dealt with. It's your fault if this is not the best time because you keep walking away from me and I keep telling you that we have to talk about this. And if you're just going to keep walking, we're going to talk about it now. I don't care if you're late for work, you have somewhere to go, you have to run. I don't care. We're going to talk about it now. And I feel like you're upset and you're demanding it. Because you've had it. You're upset. The Three of Swords is like you're really upset. Like you're hurt. Your feelings are hurt. And you're like, I'm sick of you walking away from me. Like this is not a one-sided relationship. You're in it with me and we're going to talk about this. Your partner is just not, they're just clamming up. They're not participating. That's another thing with this Three of Swords. I don't feel they're going to participate in the conversation, which really, I feel like that's really making this Three of Swords really prominent. Like you're upset to start with when you get into this conversation, and the fact that they're pulling this cold shoulder thing, making it a lot worse. You're feeling just worse about it. Now, I'm going here next. This is where the energy goes next. The Nine of Wands, excuse me. You're really, because I get this conversation. I use that term very loosely. I feel like you're trying to have a conversation. Other side is refusing to participate, but you are like open to the two-way conversation. So that's why I'm referring to it as a conversation, because you're open to that. They're not. But the information is being shared. It's coming through. You're pushing it out there. I'm feeling like this is leaving you in a state of panic because nothing can be put in focus. Nothing can be planned out. Nothing can be done because they didn't respond back. You said your side, but you need them to respond back. If they don't, or until they do, I should say, until they do, you're kind of stuck. There's nothing you can do, and you're really, this is putting you in this moment of panic. Like, I can't plan. I can't make things work out. Like, I'm in a spot where I can't do, like, you're in the spot of, like, you're, like, floating like a sitting duck. That's better. A sitting duck, there's a situation that needs to be handled, and you don't have the tools to handle it because your partner's not giving you those tools. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. And you're upset, and you're feeling that panic, like, you need to talk to me because we need to make some type of plan. This isn't going to work out unless you work with me. It's just, I'm feeling that came out during this conversation. You know, like I explained it before. But you're stuck in this feeling because afterwards you're just still stuck in a spot where, like, you forced it out, you got it out, you had to, but you're still not getting back information that you need, and now you're still feeling like, do I make this decision on my own? Feeling like you really can't make the decision on your own, and kind of, there's some type of restriction here that you need them to help you with, and I'm just getting this panic, like you need to start planning now, and you can't without their participation. You can't plan ahead, and it's really upsetting, really upsetting. Now, what is happening on their side is a good question. because I feel like something good happens before we get to this. Like, things are going better. I'm seeing that happen, but they are pulling me here first. I'm not exactly sure exactly how this is going to work out just yet, but they're pulling me this direction first for your partner where they're standing. Page of Pentacles with the perfect timing. Okay, so this conversation, I use that term loosely, happens. You're upset. You're very upset. You're not happy in any sort of the word. No. But your partner, even though they cut out on you, they didn't participate in the conversation. It was a conversation, though, because you were open to it. They just were refusing. I'm getting they kind of walk away. They go, I don't know if it's going to work, to a meeting. Wherever they're going, they're going. But they're realizing, like, this has to be dealt with. I'm getting the Page of Pentacles is how they're viewing the situation in sense of, like, how you're connected to it. Like, they're getting, like, they can't skirt around it anymore. It's like, that's not a possibility. It never really was a possibility. It never really was. But they're realizing, like, you're not going to just let that pass by. You're not, like, you're going to expect a response fairly soon. So the page with the perfect timing is, I'm getting, like, when they're away from you, like, as they walk away and whatever they're doing, they're, like, kind of obsessing over it is what I'm getting. Excuse me. And they're upset. Yeah, I get that. That's, the burp came up. Excuse me. But that's, like, an indication for rough energy, yawns, burps, hiccups, whatever happens in my wacky body. But it's hard, but they're I feel like it's crunch time. I feel like it's crunch time because they've been avoiding the thought. Avoiding it. Thinking they could skirt around it. Just not thinking about it. But now they're realizing they have to come back to you with something. They have to have an answer. They have to have some type of contribution to the situation at this point. And I feel like the way they're looking at it is, like, next time they see you, they need to say something. They need to have, a position or a standing spot. They need to tell you what they're thinking. They need to come forward with it. They have no choice. They're realizing this. All right, so this is kind of, I see how this is the next spot, because I'm seeing, like, this other spot over here. I feel like this is all connected, because they're realizing because you're not letting them off the hook. You can't. I feel like you're looking at it like there's no letting off the hook. There was just, this has to be dealt with. They were still hoping otherwise. Now, they come back towards you. I don't think they can really hold it off. I know that they'd like to. I feel like they're looking at it like the next time they see you, they have to deal with it. Although I'm still feeling that mindset where they'd like to push it off if they could. I just don't feel like that's an option. What helps is on their side, the Tower with the 8 of Wands. It's a quick Tower moment. A quick upset moment. I feel like this is like, how do you put this? Like a crash course, would you say? They have to deal with this all at once. They have to put it in perspective all at once. I'm getting they're moving very fast through this. And it's partly because you need an answer. It's partly because they don't really want to deal with it, so they're trying to rush through it. But I'm getting that this kind of works in your favor because it kind of gives you the ability to push forward what you want, and kind of like I feel like you've already thought this through as much as you can. You're going to have the ability to, like, push forth what you think should happen and why. And I feel like your partner really doesn't have a leg to stand on to rebuttal what you want to do because they've been avoiding it so much and pushing it out of their thoughts that now they just feel like they're under the gun to make a decision. So if you come forward with something, they know that you do your research, they trust you, and they just want it to move forward fast. They just want it to happen fast. They don't want to deal with it. So they're going to be conducive with what you want. Is that true? Okay. I'm like, is that true? No. I would It sounds nice. It seems nice on paper, but I'm getting that that's still not what you want. You need 50-50. You need contribution. I feel like they're just handing you the checkbook and say, write out whatever you need. I feel like that's the equivalent of what's happening here. Like, here's the checkbook, write out what you need to do. Um, and you're like, I wasn't looking to make the decision by myself. I didn't need you just to agree with me. I needed you to talk this out with me. I don't feel like you're really over the moon, but I'm getting what helps you is the Nine of Pentacles with the compromise, in the sense of like the compromise is they're participating, but they're going along with whatever you pretty much say. I don't feel like you really like that. The Nine of Pentacles, like, it's not bad, but it's not ideal. And like at least it's going to be taken care of. I still feel like you're like, I needed somebody to be there. I needed somebody to be support. Like we needed to support each other on this situation and move forward. I don't feel like you're really liking how it's panning out, but you're happy that it's at least getting taken care of. Like, if you know what I mean. It's like not the best, but not the worst. At least it's getting taken care of. You're looking at it like you're the one that's getting stuck making the decision, but at least the decision is being made and it's going forward. You can at least do something about it. And the compromise is just that you're at least the situation is getting taken care of. It's funny because I think if you look at it from your side, it's like it's not even a good compromise. It's just kind of a forced compromise. I don't feel like you're over the moon about it. But I feel like you don't want to make it, you want to move on from it too. I feel like you're looking at it like you're just sick of the situation and you're still upset about it. And you needed to move on. You need to move the situation forward. And I feel like that's how you're looking at it. Like let's just move it forward. Let's just keep going. I feel like you're kind of letting your partner off the hook about it. And I get you're offering them forgiveness, and they're having recovery. They're getting that forgiveness and recovery, in the sense of like I feel like they're healing over the situation, and I'm getting that justice is showing up, but I'm getting it's for like the both of you. It is showing up on your partner's side, but I'm kind of getting it's for the both of you. Because I feel like you have a sound viewpoint. I feel like you have a sound way to handle this, whatever the situation is. So it is going to work out, I feel like, better than hashing it out, which I don't know if that sounds right or not. I still don't think you're over the moon about it. You're like, no, we should both be talking this through. I feel like that's how you're looking at it. But I'm getting the situation is actually working out better because it's going to have less hiccups, less resistance, because I feel like you've already looked through it as much as you can, and you already have a sound plan. So going the way you want to go is actually a good thing in this situation, even if it doesn't feel good to you. It is, I feel like, justice for both of you. Like it's going to be a good decision that's made, and I feel like this is going to overcome the situation. Like the seven of wands. So you're going to overcome these obstacles. I kind of feel like your efforts are making the situation better for both of you. Your partner's kind of getting through this. I don't know. I feel like the way they've been playing it, the denial thing or whatever's been going on there. I mean, I get that there's reasons for that. I just feel like I feel like you getting upset with them is like the roughest part of the whole situation, and how you feel, the fact that they upset you. I feel like that's really rough for your partner. But instead of like dealing with the situation like fairly, the two of you working it out, I feel like instead of dealing with the hard part that way, they kind of took on the emotional difficulty through the argument or through you being upset, which is, I feel like they're really kind of remorseful about that. I feel like when they were doing this and they're stepping away and they're not dealing with it, they weren't centering how that was affecting you. They just wanted to escape this situation. So I feel like they're bothered by how much that hurt you. I don't feel like they were paying attention. Whether they should have or shouldn't have known that was going to happen is another situation. But they weren't paying attention in the way that they really saw that coming, if that makes sense. Because I don't feel like they were out to make your life worse. They just had this weird feeling like they could escape the situation by not dealing with it, like it would just pass on without incident. which I don't feel like is realistic. But I'm definitely connecting to a Virgo energy here. So I feel like this is your side saying that's not realistic. That doesn't make sense. And I feel like you could be completely right with that. But they were taking a denial viewpoint, just let's skirt past it, not deal with it. It doesn't have to be a problem. They weren't thinking about how this was affecting you. They were just thinking they can make it go away by not dealing with it. It does get better in the end, at least, though. Very good. Good. All right. Now let's do Virgo singles. Virgo singles. What do we have for Virgo singles? Empowering information for Virgo singles. Information that helps them understand what's happening, helps them move in a direction they want to go, and gives them the insight to see the external situations that are affecting them, or this love situation, to at least give them a greater understanding of the truth behind everything that is happening. Okay. I made faces there because like the way that was coming out of my mouth, I'm just like, why is it coming out of my mouth that way? Because the understanding what is happening, that makes me wonder. You do have the Two of Cups here. I'm thinking I'm understanding why I said understanding what is happening. You also have the Page of, nope, that's the Knight of Pentacles. Middle. I was kind of like, the deck was sitting funny, so I decided just to open that up. So let's just see. I feel like there's difficulties here. The question is, why are you both on the same page yet there's problems? Because that's what I'm getting here. You're both on the same page, love-wise. You both have feelings for each other. You're both feeling that click. It's clicking in with both of you. You got that spark going on there. That I almost feel like saying spark is cliche lately because I feel like I say it a lot. All right, well, we're going to have to see how this plays out because it's going to be one of those readings until we actually get to the card and I touch it and read off of it. I'm not sure what way this is going, I'll be honest with you. So let's see how this reading develops to see what's going to happen for you. Now, I'm getting that Two of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles seem to be talking a lot about this whole situation. Like, this is what it's all rooted in. This is what's pulling you through, beginning to wherever you're going. Wherever you're going. Which, to me, Knight of Pentacles is slow mover, but usually a dedicated builder. Slow, sometimes so slow that you're like, you know, maybe you have to use time-lapse photography just to make sure there is progress going on here. But the Two of Cups is with it, which is telling me that there's mutual love here. Now, this starts off with the Moon card, which makes me feel like the two of you are googly-eyed. But I'm also wondering if that was trusted. Like, one of you, if not both of you, had a problem with that. It's almost like you were very smitten with each other, but you're like, oh, it's not real, it's just a moment. Like let's just calm down. Like, I almost feel like that moment was there, and you were both feeling it, but one, if not both of you, were just kind of questioning it. Like, oh, you know, like you weren't comfortable with it. When I'm getting the Moon card, I'm getting that happened, but you weren't comfortable with it. And I feel like this is like, well, let's slow down. Let's just slow down a bit. And I'm getting at the bottom here, it's pulling into the strength. It's kind of like, you know what, let's use some restraint. Let's not rush forward. There's a complication here. There's a complication here with the other person. It's definitely with the other person. And I'm getting they're either attached to someone else, there's a job, or there's a distance, either a job, distance, or they're attached to somebody else. And with the general read, I'm just like, how is this? It's either one of anyone. I feel like it's one of the three. Like, I understand it could be something else with a general read, but like there's something that's holding, there's an obstacle. Either they're attached to somebody else, there's work, they're very like involved with their job and it seems to be causing an obstacle. Or there's distance here that's causing an obstacle, like physical distance is what I'm getting. Those are the main ones I'm pulling in. And I'm getting the strength here is like because of one of those three, if not all three of them, which is possible, I feel like you, even though that moment happened and you felt it, you're just like, let's slow down. Let's just slow down. And I feel like the strength here is between both of you. And you're both like, all right, let's just have some restraint. But I feel like you're still getting to know each other. You're still coming closer. Because the moon card is in the past for you guys. It seems to be identifying what started the situation. The strength between the two of you, you've both been exercising that restraint. And that's the bottom card. This is what it's built on. This is like the earth you're walking on. Very stable. Now, you're not in a spot where it's likely you're going to have an earthquake, so you're pretty good. The air, the top card a lot in my readings, I equate to like the weather, especially like in some places it can change every 2 hours. You can go from rain to snow to shine. I feel like this is the weather you're dealing with. And this is what's currently happening. The Four of Pentacles is like, I feel like you're one of you, both of you. It's getting harder. Even though you're standing on a very strong platform, it's getting harder. Like, I feel like you're both, like, I'm getting, like, there's moments where the two of you really want to be closer to each other, and it's getting harder to hold on. Excuse me. I'm getting the strength is, like, you both agree on where you stand. You both agree on how this should be handled. The weather is like these moments just bring you closer together, and it's almost like it gets harder at times. Like either you're very close in proximity or something happens where that chemistry, that charge, that draw towards each other gets really strong, and it's harder to hold on. It's harder to keep to that agreement that we're going to keep our hands off each other type feel. Because I feel like that's, for most of you, I feel like that's what it is. Either you're trying to keep your hands off each other or like you're trying to really, I feel like you're trying to keep your hands off each other in some respect. Like you're trying not to get too connected. Let's just put it that way. You're trying to put like a respectable distance between the two of you. Because in the center here, you have the Ten of Cups with the Two of Pentacles. The Ten of Cups is telling me the two of you really have a good time together. Now, this could be private. Ten of Cups is usually like more of a social situation, like you're out together. I feel like it might be kind of obvious. I feel like that's what the Ten of Cups is saying. Like people around you are very well aware that the two of you like each other. It comes across very smoothly, very easily. Like you can't help it. It just comes off that the two of you click. I just feel like it's that type of thing. I feel like that's what the Ten of Cups is saying. Like you're very happy with each other. You get along very well. And it's very evident to people around you. Very evident. A very strong, positive energy. The Two of Pentacles coming in is telling me that you're somehow realizing that that's the case. You're realizing people are noticing. One way or another, you're aware other people are noticing that you and this person really like each other and just get along very well. Like the sparks fly. Even if you're not touching each other, it just seems like the sparks fly. And now the Two of Pentacles, you're like, what are we going to do about this? Like, whatever the situation is that you come in contact with each other, I feel like that's kind of persistent. It's likely persistent. What does that mean? Because it's a general read, it depends how it's hitting for you. Okay, but, all right, I understand that. So, for most of you, it's a situation that it's going to keep going. For others of you, like, what else are we going with? It's something, like, I almost feel like you're drawn to each other and you keep coming in contact with each other. I'm feeling like for some of you, you could actually avoid each other. You just honestly don't want to. And that's where the Two of Pentacles comes in, because you're feeling like it's starting to get really out of control. People are seeing how you feel about each other. You don't want to avoid each other. It's getting stronger. It's getting a lot stronger. Now, again, we have, I'll show you these cards. I showed you two of them a moment ago, but I'll show them again. Two of Cups, Knight of Pentacles. There's a lot of love here. It's mutual love. It's a slow-moving situation, but at night, again, progression. It could be quite slow, but it's still progression. And you're progressing towards something here. You're going towards something. Something is going to happen. One way or another, something is going to happen the way you're going. I just feel like there's so much momentum behind it. It's kind of like a boulder rolling down the hill, which is a stereotypical way to represent Earth in motion. But, like, I think it's a good example. Like, this is already on course for something to happen. Just what's going to happen is the question. Now, and it's rolling downhill, in case you're like, well, it could be rolling uphill. It's not. It's rolling downhill. You've got the Hermit here with the get more information. I'm getting somehow it's so... There's a lot of pressure. For whatever reason, I'm feeling a lot of pressure coming on this situation. And you're forced... I feel like you're both... It seems like you're both in it together in a sense. Like, what one's going through, the other seems to be going through just as much. And you're both kind of in this spot where you're like, we have to like distance ourselves from each other because this isn't good. Like I feel like you're both deciding that this isn't good. Like it's quite obvious how you feel about each other. Like just talking, just saying hi seems to be a problem at this point. Just saying hello. Being within 10 feet of each other becomes a problem. Like it's just kind of obvious because if you're in eyesight or you're in a spot where you can see each other, you can't help but look at each other. That's how strong the chemistry is getting at this point. So you're doing what you can to stay away from each other, to not talk to each other, to like, I feel like when you're alone, if you have moments alone, you're like trying to divvy out like, you'll be here at this time, and then I'll go at this time, and we won't cross paths, and it'll be better, and it'll be okay. Like, I feel like you're talking it out like you can solve this in a rational way. I don't think it's going to work, but it makes sense, because I feel like you're trying to put down a stable plan. The thing is, the kicker here is like you don't want to stay away from each other. You may agree to it, you may say it, you may try to believe it, but the truth is you want to be near each other, and you're having a hard time with that. The Hermit with the get more information is like, I feel like when you're trying to stay away from each other, it's getting, it's hurtful, it's hard, it hurts you, it makes you sad, it makes you depressed. That's the get more information. Like you're starting to see like this isn't a little crush feel. This is like intense for you and the other person. That's the get more information because you're trying to stay away from each other and it hurts and it's depressing and you're having a really hard time with it. That's the get more information. You're getting that information like this is not something little. This is not something that's just going to, out of sight, out of mind, isn't going to cut it here. It's not going to work. Now we're going... See, you're trying to walk away from it. I'm kind of getting this for the whole... Up to this point, anyway. You're trying to do this Six of Swords thing. You're just like, no, we can't do that. For whatever reason, I feel like you're like, we can't do that. I feel like they're on the same page for whatever reason. And you're constantly trying to walk away from it. But it's just not happening. It's hard. Your thoughts are that this is going to cause some problems. I'm getting the Death card in your thoughts. Like, for this to happen, for this situation, for this relationship to happen, something has to end. Something that's major in somebody's life. Yours or theirs, one of the two. Maybe both. But that's one of the reasons, this is like a big reason why you're trying to walk away. You're just like, I can't do this because it's going to cause something else to end that I don't think that's right. I'm not even going to go there whether you want it to or don't want it to. I'm getting you're standing in a spot like that's not right. here? No, this is going to be for after. So we're going to the end. There's a couple cards in the environment, but I'm not getting that it's time for them to come forward yet, so we're just going to show you what's here. Yeah, there's a card here, and I'm just like, how do you factor in? Because I'm not feeling the environment card. There's one of them I'm not feeling yet, so I'm not sure why. You got the Wheel of Fortune, the Justice card, and the Big Happy Changes. I'm feeling most of you know what this means. Something does change. This is the card I'm looking at in the environment. Now that I'm picking it up, I'm getting the other person. Whoever has the attachment here is making the change. They're coming forward like this is going to be worked out. They're going to make the change. Whoever that is, whoever the job, if it's the distance, if there's attached to somebody, whoever's in that position where they're dealing with that detail, they're making that decision that they're going to change that. They're going to remove that from being an obstacle. That's the wheel going in your fortune, in your favor. Wheel of Fortune going in your favor. Justice, like this is working out the way you honestly want it to. Justice here is telling me this is what you want. And I feel like it's working out in a way, the best way it could for what you want. I'm not going to say, like, I still don't know if you're going to look at it like it's the right thing. But Justice is saying, like, this should happen. And it's trying to work out as fairly as possible, like it's balancing out. Justice means to me that you're going to end up in a relationship because I'm getting big happy changes here. Justice is telling me there's more to this situation than meets to the eye. This is actually a good thing for both of you. I feel like that's also popping in there, like even if you don't see it, even if you don't agree with it, this is a good thing the way this is working out. That's what I feel like Justice is saying. You may not agree with it being fair or being the right thing, but I feel like spiritually they're saying, no, this is all right. This is a good thing. I feel like some of you may be like, I don't know if I can get on board with that, but you are going to end up with this big happy changes. This person will end up in your life. Are we good? Anything else? All right, so that's the end for Virgo singles. It took me a while to get there. If you'd like a direct reading from me, go ahead and shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.